Hello, and welcome to Talkback Thursday, presented by the Jay and Susie Gouge Performing Arts Center at Auburn University. I'm Michelle Humph, Director of Education and Engagement for the Gouge Center, and today I have the privilege of speaking with the leading light behind one of the nation's, if not the world's most revered dance companies, Step Afrika. Joining me today is the founder and executive producer, Brian Williams of Step Afrika. Welcome, Brian.
Hey, what's happening? How are you?
Doing well, doing well. We're so glad that you could take a few minutes to join us today. So thank you for that.
Me
I
too.
want to give a little bit of background on Step Afrika. And Brian, at the end, if I've left anything out, please feel free to add in. Step Afrika was founded, of course, by Brian in 1994. Since its beginning, the company's mission has remained to preserve, expand, and promote an appreciation for stepping through professional performances. They are committed to educating, motivating, and inspiring young people through arts education programs that emphasize teamwork, commitment, and discipline. Today, Step Afrika is regarded as one of the top 10 African American dance companies in the United States. And it's also the largest African American led arts organization in Washington, D.C. Every day, thousands experience Step Afrika at the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture, where they are featured as part of the world's first interactive stepping exhibition. The company reaches an even wider audience annually with its tours of American colleges and theaters, and they perform globally as an official U.S. cultural ambassador. Since 2018, Step Afrika has promoted cultural dialogue and exchange with several international tours, traveling to countries around the world, including Jordan, Ghana, Zambia, South Africa, Poland, Bolivia, and Kuwait, to name just a few. In 2022, Brian was named a National Heritage Fellow, and this year, Step Afrika was inducted into the National Association of Campus Activities Hall of Fame. They're the first dance company to earn this honor. Brian, thank you so much for joining us today. Have I left anything out? Can you add to that?
Oh my God. Thank you for that tremendous research into our work. I'll just add that, and starting this year, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary. And we're
Yes.
so glad to come to Auburn to celebrate with your audiences there.
Oh, we are thrilled. We are thrilled. And congratulations. That is quite a milestone, 30-year anniversary. That's amazing. Well done. So I know you've been busy with rehearsals today. And again, we are so fortunate to grab just a few minutes of your time this afternoon to talk all things Step Afrika. And of course, like you said, your upcoming visit to the Gouge Center in Auburn this fall. So Brian, I want to just ask, I know you've performed, you've lectured and taught all around the world, Europe, Central and South America, Africa, Asia, the Middle East, the Caribbean, all throughout the United States. I had the pleasure of seeing Step Afrika in Eugene, Oregon. You've been everywhere. But how did Step Afrika come to be? What inspired you to create the first professional dance company dedicated to the tradition of stepping?
Oh, wow. I mean, as we approach our 30th year of performing and teaching all around the world, when I think about the origins of Step Afrika, I go back to the college campus because that's actually where I learned how to step. I attended Howard University in Washington, D.C. And while I was there, I became a member. I joined my fraternity. It's Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And that's where I learned how to step. And I'll never forget it, Michelle. When I first learned how to step, I was so excited about this art form. I had never really seen it before. And I was struck with how unique it was as a dance form. So I started researching it a lot. This is in the late 80s. I'm dating myself now. When I was learning how to step and stepping around, campus and whatnot. But then in 1991, I graduated from Howard and I got my first job, young college student, getting ready for the world. And my first job turned out to be in Southern Africa. So I'm living and working in Southern Africa in 1991, which is a very challenging time in that country, in that region's history. And while there is where I come across a dance called the South African gum boot dance, chewing gum boot dance. And I was struck by the similarities between stepping and this South African art form. And that's immediately I knew I had something that I wanted to do, which was bring those two art forms together, stepping with the South African gum boot dance, and to create Step Afrika. So in 1994, I did that along with some South African friends of mine who were amazing artists. We launched Step Afrika in December 1994 in Johannesburg, South Africa, bringing these two art forms together, and it's been an incredible ride ever since.
That is amazing. And I will say that moment, for any of our viewers that are coming to see Step Afrika, when I saw that show in Eugene, Oregon, that moment, there is a moment where you learn all about the gumboot dance.
Mhm.
And then you get to see, stepping, modern day stepping, at the same time with the gumboot dance. And that was one of my favorite moments of the show. So that's really neat to hear. That was part of the founding, that dance, you wanted to learn more about the history of it, and that was a part in the founding of Step Afrika. So thank you for sharing that. It's
Absolutely.
That is amazing. So I just want to ask then, for our viewers, right? Our viewers watching this, some may have an idea of what they think stepping is. And some, have no idea what stepping is. They've heard it used, step sing concerts and competitions and things like that. But would love to hear you kind of talk a little bit about, for our viewers, what is stepping, if you had to define it for our viewers?
Well, yeah, this is Step Afrika's work. Step Afrika is largely credited with introducing the art form of stepping to the American theater. So if any of your audience has never seen this art form called stepping, Step Afrika defines it as a percussive, polyrhythmic, percussive art form first developed by African American fraternities and sororities. And in stepping, we use our body as an instrument, our voices, and together we create all types of rhythms and music. So if you probably know tap, and that's a percussive dance form, Irish step dancing, done by the Celtic community. Stepping is like a full-bodied African American percussive dance form, and I love it so much, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with your audiences. A lot of people in the community may really know the art form. So if you know stepping, you got to come see Step Afrika, because you can see how far we have taken the form, well past its origins on the college campus. But if you don't know the art form, our show is a great introduction to this uniquely American tradition. And so you get to learn about the history of the form in the United States, how it developed, and how it connects to art forms all around the world, in particular, Southern Africa.
Yes, absolutely. And I love how in the show there is a little bit of history taught, during the performance. Our viewers will learn about that history and how it kind of was birthed, within the fraternities and sororities. So I as a lifelong lover of dance and as a dancer myself, I've been aware of stepping for many years. And I have to tell you, Brian, I was so excited to see Step Afrika included as part of the Juneteenth celebration at the White House this summer. That was amazing.
Yes.
I can't imagine what that must have been like for you all. And I just, for our audience viewers, I would love for you to talk us through. Can you talk or walk us through what that experience was like for you all?
Wow. Well, it was an incredible honor to perform at the White House. But luckily for Step Afrika, based in DC, it wasn't our first time, We performed several times at the White House, once in the East Room, which was fantastic,
Mm.
once for the national tree lighting ceremony that American presidents host every year.
Hmm.
And then most recently, we were very honored to be there for the very first Juneteenth concert on the White House lawn. And it was fantastic. You know, that's a very special place in the country. And to be there and perform, and for not only the president, but the president's family and the cabinet and the Congress, you know, from all backgrounds across the country, it was really a tremendous honor to bring the art form of Step into that space. And, you know, I wish we could do it all the time because I love performing there, as you can imagine. But I'm so glad that, you know, that performance is available. And I hope that this will become a new tradition for the White House, because it was a wonderful time, very special.
Wonderful. Well, we actually have some video footage from that performance that I'd like to share with our viewers if we may. So let's take a look.
Get off me. Come on. Step Afrika.
Wow, incredible. What an honor, and how amazing to be able to share your work on such a visible stage and as part of such an important event. It's amazing. So
Thank you, thank you,
congratulations.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
And I hope, actually, I love what you said, just that could be a continuation at every
Mhm,
Juneteenth, and maybe that, step shows can be more prevalent across the United States at
mhm.
Juneteenth celebrations. That would be wonderful. So without a doubt, I'd say you've had a pretty eventful summer, but I know the team has quite a busy fall ahead too. I mentioned, earlier that you've been busy with rehearsals, and that's because, as you mentioned earlier, you've been hard at work preparing for an extensive nationwide tour celebrating 30
Yes.
years. 30 years.
Wow.
Congratulations again. That's amazing and a milestone, and you must be very excited. So I'd love to hear, what can you tell us about the tour?
Well, look, Step Africa loves bringing this art form of stepping to theaters all across the country, and I'm so excited to come to Auburn. This will be our first time in the in your fabulous performing arts center. I've heard of it. I've heard it's beautiful, and I can't wait to get to grace the stage with our 11 fantastic artists who come from all across the country. Um, and I think we're going to have someone from who went to the University of Alabama in the company, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I
Oh,
think he might not be able to be there,
uh-huh.
but we recruit around the country every year, and so I'm really glad. I'm pretty sure he graduated from Alabama, so which is great. I'll check into that.
Well, we'll have
But
to still say War Eagle there.
exactly. See, I don't know the Alabama politics, all that. So forgive me.
You're fine. You're fine.
But I tell you, it's such our show that we're bringing there is such a great introduction to the art form of stepping. You get a chance to see a little bit of the traditional, the contemporary, the solo, the group. You get to see South African dance forms that are rarely experienced on American stages, not just the gumboot dance, but the Zulu dance. But this will be part of a 20-city tour across the United States this fall alone. So we're going to be moving a lot, but that's what we're built to do. We're built to come into communities, and I'm so glad you have all these great activities planned around the performance, not just the show, but we'll be able to do a master class in the community, which I can't wait for the artists to do. And I know you have some other fun stuff planned, so it's going to be a great time in Auburn at Auburn.
Yes, yes. We are so excited, and of course you'll be here, and we're absolutely thrilled to have the opportunity to present Step Africa as the very first performance in our 2023-24 Dance and Movement series this
Oh,
season.
great!
And we're just so happy to have you come south to Alabama and Auburn, and just to hear you talk. You sort of brought to light all the engagements we're going to be having around this performance. Yes, we've invited Alabama State University dance
Mm.
students who are studying dance to be able to come and have the master class. And then those students will then teach at the Boys and Girls Club here. And
Mm.
then we are, and we hope everyone knows about this, we're going to have a pre-show Unity step show that will happen we're inviting Divine Nine, Greek organizations from Auburn University, Alabama State University, Tuskegee University, and Auburn University Montgomery. And this show will take place in the outdoor arrival plaza at the Gouge Center. It will be from 5:45 to 6:30. So everyone watching, please mark your calendars and come for the Unity Step Show. It is free and open to all who want
Mm.
to learn and who want to engage and see stepping as it is today in Divine Nine Greek organizations at universities here in Alabama. So we're thrilled for that. And also be sure to purchase your tickets for Step Africa, which will take place directly following the Unity Step Show at 7 o'clock in our Waltos Theater. It will be an unforgettable evening celebrating this remarkable and important art form with fellow Divine Nine Steppers from across Alabama, and of course, with the amazing Step Afrika. But I did have a question for you, Brian. You piqued my interest. You talked about your company members being all across the United States. Can you talk a little bit about your company members, sort of their backgrounds, and where they all come from, and if they are in Divine Nine organizations as well?
Yeah, great question. Look, Step Africa is really happy to be able to provide full-time employment to artists.
That's wonderful.
We love artists clearly, and we're very artist-centered. And so right now we have 18 full-time dancers who come from all over the United States, from Florida to New York, from Texas to so many places, from Georgia. And most of them are college graduates, right? Some of them are members of historically Black fraternities and sororities. And I love that we represent the broad traditions found within this art form called stepping.
Yeah.
At this point, stepping is an art form that's practiced not just by the D9 who created it. So I hope all the D9 come out in their regalia to celebrate this performance. I'll have mine on. I want to see you guys and connect with you because this show really does demonstrate stepping's unlimited artistic possibilities. But again, for folks who've never seen these forms, I really love the way you've put together this performance, Michelle, to get a chance to see stepping as it's practiced by frats and sororities on college campuses, and then to come see Step Afrika. That's just a great night of American culture. It really, really, really is. It's going to be, I can't wait. I just can't wait for the Step show, before our show, quite honestly, because that's the origins of the form. So your audience will get a chance to see both the origins and where a professional dance company has taken it. So I can't wait. How big is the auditorium?
Oh gosh, our theater can seat 1,200, and I will say tickets are going very quickly. We almost have a full house, but they are on sale, so people can still buy tickets. But tickets are going fast. This is a high demand show. So, but your performance, from when I saw it in Eugene, Oregon, it's so much more than just dancing. There's rhythm, like you said, and drumming. Storytelling, humor, and there's aspects of audience participation involved. So just if you could put in just a couple of words, like what would you want our patrons to really look forward to experiencing and taking away from this whole experience, what would those things be?
Well, first I would say this is a show for the entire family. And I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. What we like to say is you don't have to come to our show and sit still and be quiet. And you don't have to wait until the end to applaud. You can make noise from the very beginning until the very end. And we find that is very freeing for our audiences. A lot of times they aren't used to that.
Yeah.
And kids in particular, they can move, they can dance, they can get up, they can yell. It's encouraged. So, adults come, please. We love to see you. But if you have some children or nieces, nephews, grandchildren, whatever, mentees, bring them. Because our show is definitely designed to have a good time and to make music together. We really want to turn the theater into like a big community gathering where we all just have fun. But also, I think it's a chance to really reflect on a part of American society, our culture that we haven't seen. Like, I was so honored to get that award from the National Endowment for the Arts, really elevating stepping as a part of our nation's cultural heritage. So you get a chance to see an art form that has about 120 years old in American culture, but it's only now starting to kind of get out there in a really exciting way. So, whenever you see Step Afrika, in a way, you're getting a chance to celebrate a part of our nation's cultural heritage and help us preserve it, for the next generation. So that's what I think I'd really like to stress to our audiences.
I love what you said about celebrate and preserve. And those are two key words. And I will say, if you're watching this Talkback Thursday, I will share with you that when I saw this show in Eugene, Oregon, I clapped the entire time and my arms were sore. So when you say
Good.
it truly is a community
Yeah.
event and there's music, there's clapping, it really truly is a celebration.
Hmm.
And I love what you said about preserving it and having the opportunity to bring and invite Divine Nine to come, and
Yeah.
communities that might not be exposed to stepping and what it is
Hmm.
just a tremendous honor. And we hope that our viewers, all of our viewers, will come and learn and
Yeah.
celebrate and help to preserve this tradition. So,
Yeah, and be in community together. You know,
mhm.
that the theater to me is like one of our largest classrooms that we have. We get a chance to see other cultures we may not know, traditions we haven't seen. And so I love the work that you all are doing to help preserve these traditions. You know, every time an artist comes, it's a chance to learn a different perspective, a new experience. And I think we'll definitely do that on our debut performance at the Goose. How do you say this?
So
GOG?
good question. The Gouge Performing Arts Center.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. It's just such a great opportunity. So, Brian, I just want to thank you so, so much for joining us today. I think we're in for a real treat this November, and we're just so excited to welcome you and the company to Auburn as part of your 30-year celebration. It's going to be an incredible tour. And again, just want to let the audience know tickets for Step Africa's performance at the Goose Center are on sale. And the show is Monday, November 6th. But tickets are going fast. So to reserve your seats, visit our website at googecentertickets.auburn.edu, or you can contact the box office by telephone by calling at 334-844-8497. I would like to take a moment to thank our 2023 and 24 season sponsors, Walt and Ginger Waltos and Laura Palmer, for sponsoring the Step Afrika performance. Thanks for joining us today for this episode of Talkback Thursday. And thank you again, Brian. We look forward to welcoming you guys to Auburn on November 6th. So everyone have a wonderful afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you at the Goose Center soon. Thank you.
Thank you.